Mozart is there on the page to begin Unit 6. Oh my goodness, you know that I want students to enjoy music so much. Classical melodies, folk songs, originals, jazz pieces, and I do want them to learn the great composers, and they get to in succeeding at the piano. So on page 32, here students are learning their guide note of middle C, and we can say that middle C is on a little piece of a line. And we want our students to understand the spaces, the 5 spaces, the 5 lines and the 4 spaces. All right, here on page 33 is the middle C high step. And lots of our students will say, gosh, that was so fun, it's so easy. And then we say, it's because you were only playing middle C, right? Only one note. And in the corresponding theory book, I put little smiley faces in the middle C, just so it'll be really, really cute for the students. That way they happily connect the smiley face with middle C's. So, again, since the student is playing the same C in both hands, have the student play their thumb a little bit closer to their body and their thumb slightly above their right hand. Exciting. On page 34 and 35, terrific 2 pieces by Kevin Olson, where the students learn middle C, treble G, and then the guide note of bass F. We must tell our students over and over again, middle C, treble G, bass F. Have the students count up how many notes they're skipping. Oh, I'm skipping 3 keys. And down here to the F, I'm skipping 3 white keys again. I like the idea that I put the red line through the guide notes of treble G and bass F so the students can really see that, and we can continue to add those red lines through those important guide notes so students can really, really remember where they are. All right, so here's a rainbow. Was that piece played brightly? Oh yes, it certainly was. Can you sing the song? Right, we can see how well our students match pitch. And then we can ask, how is moonlight different than a rainbow? And most of our students will say, oh, it's peaceful, so it'll go slower. Let's see. Wonderful. So now the students know their 3 most important guide notes. Now let's take a look at page 36. Here is the first physical gesture in the method, and I call it a touch release because I am focused on how the student approaches the key, the sound that they create when they play the key, and how they release from the key. So this particular physical gesture, I spend time with it on the tutorials. There's a playlist on the YouTube channel which is topic-specific videos for piano teachers. So these wonderful physical gestures, which I call touch releases, are on that playlist. So just simply put, these motions, these physical gestures that we teach our students help them to play with freedom in their bodies and for them to understand that their physical apparatus works all together. So it's not just their fingers are playing, right? They're strong, big muscles of the arms and the upper arms and the back is what's producing power and energy through their arms, their elbows, their forearms, wrist, hands, and then to their fingers. So when students learn the drip, drop, roll motion, they understand this fluidity and coordination in their playing apparatus. They understand how to taper phrases without us really having to say too much, and they certainly understand how to play 2-note and 3-note slurs when we get to them, and of course how to release from the keys at the very end of the piece. So let's go ahead and do the drip, drop, roll together. For those of you that know me, gosh, you know this very, very well. So we ask our students to put their arms up like this and imagine that water is dripping through their fingers. One of my students, Carly, she said, "You're so right, Dr. Marlais. I was in the shower and I put my hands up like this and water really does drip right through your fingers." Okay, so we can say to our students, drip, 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 and then have them drop to the bottom of the keys or to their thighs. Right? And this is the time when we want to make sure that we ask them, what do you feel that's released? And they'll say, this is going to take time. This won't be the first time. But little by little, they'll say, oh my gosh, my elbow is released, my forearm, my shoulder is released. Right? So many of our kids play with such tight tension, right? This basic physical gesture of dripping and dropping into the keys allows this humerus bone that goes from the shoulder joint to the elbow to release. So we need to have a happy hanging humerus, and that way the elbow hangs naturally, and the students feel that sense of wonderful arm weight. And then the last step is just rolling forward and off the thighs like this. Okay, and if they're rolling forward and off the keys, that's how it feels. Okay, so you could start with just finger 3 on a key and have them drip, drop, and then roll forward and off the keys. You can also have them experiment with sound, right? A pianissimo sound will take a lot less of a drop. Right? And then a bigger sound, more of a drop, and then a roll forward and off the keys. By Brahms, right? All the way through it are drips, drops, and rolls. Drop, roll, drop, roll, drop, and then roll, drop, roll. Okay, you get the idea of that. So, of course, that physical gesture, that touch release is throughout so much of what we play. The next page is the guide notes. Here the students are reviewing again with Papa Haydn their 3 guide notes. And at the end of the piece, they're going to use that drip, drop, roll motion that they learned. And I have that little icon of the little drip, drop, roll boy so that they remember how it feels to play that motion. Okay, so I think we're ready for page 38. But you know what? I think I have to go get my puppy into bed. So I'll see you in a moment.